We are live here on YouTube Live. Welcome. There, the lights got adjusted. Early Saturday morning, 9 o'clock here on the Eastern Time. Welcome. Are you getting tired of hearing all the news on coronavirus? Are you paranoid about it? And I cannot believe this is going to be the third show that I've done on the coronavirus. But again, when I'm doing a show on the coronavirus, I am doing it to try to give you the most up-to-date information that's out there in the most simplistic way to protect yourself. That's the whole concept. Rather than sitting back and waiting and worrying. So today we're going to talk about worrying about the coronavirus, getting yourself in a tizzy over the coronavirus, getting yourself up in arms, running around, buying all the soaps and masks, getting your nervous system crazy. Let me say this. If you're doing that, if you've got yourself so wound up into this whole thing, guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? Your immune system's going to struggle, and you, dear friend, who are just bent out of shape over this whole thing, are going to become a higher risk factor. You're going to become more susceptible to the coronavirus. I told a couple people last night that most of the experts are now saying that these viruses can spread so rapidly that you probably have already been exposed. Wherever you are listening to this, you've probably been exposed. Your body fought it off dramatically using what's called interleukin 18. What's interleukin 18? Is that a supplement that I can take? No, it's something that your God-given body makes, produces, and defends you against the coronavirus or a bacterial infection or you name it. You know, when I was in school, they called me the gut guy. The gut guy. Because I could almost draw every single health condition to proper gut health. And boy, I wish I was able to be a researcher right now and find those people who have succumbed to the coronavirus. And again, if you do look, and hopefully you've understood that of the, I don't even know how many deaths that have been in the United States, almost all of them have been at the state of Washington, and almost all of them have been in one nursing home that's under federal investigation right now for not cooperating in doing the proper techniques to protect those individuals. So we're going to talk about fighting infection by practicing good gut health. And to practice good gut health means you have to practice good nervous control. Stop obsessing about this. Yeah, it's scary. Oh my God, it's spreading across. But if you think back, every year for the last 7 or 8 years, we've had a version of this. Remember the bird flu? You know, we can go back that every year there was this, and the big messages from the CDC, which is so blown out of proportion. Oh my God, 70,000 people have died of this flu this season. You want to go look, go to the CDC's website, cdc.gov, and look at the number of people that have been confirmed to have died from flu this year. Go ahead. They said 70,000. It's something like less than 500, actually. It's an exaggeration. They can lie, they can steal, they can cheat, they can bring this up, but that's their job, is to stir you up. So I am here this morning to say, do not get stirred up, because if you stir up your nervous system, your defense is going to go down. Now, we're going to have a little contest this morning. For anybody that happens to be listening live right now or even later, because I'm going to give the answer on Monday, on our Monday YouTube version. I'm going to go back to 2016. They're still tallying up. Here we are in 2020. 2016, 4 years ago, they're still tallying up healthcare costs. That's how long it takes them. And they just published this. The total money spent, excluding over-the-counter drugs, that would include everything that we recommend, excluding that. Home health care, research infrastructure, $3.1 trillion. I would guesstimate that that number is almost doubled in 2020. The more insurance we offer, the more insurance we take advantage of. Hey, by the way, speaking of that, this will be coming out very soon. And I'm just going to give you a little preview of this. Our Health Summit 2020, a guided expedition to a healthier life, biblical lessons on health, why conventional medicine is so important, holistic approaches to medicine, our food, and why it matters. 4 talks going on at what used to be called Heritage Christian Church. It's now called One Church here in the South Atlanta community. We're going to have seating for a lot of people. We're going to have daycare. We're going to have things for kids to do, movies, food, a wonderful day, and a number of vendors talking about health. As we always do on Saturday mornings, we're going to start out with our word about our character from Michael Josephson, Character Counts. I've done this now every Saturday morning for the last 23 years. This is our 24th year of doing Your Daily Dose. We've used a lot of different venues, from radio to XM radio to satellite radio to internet radio to local to podcasts to YouTube Live now, and we did Facebook Live. And we keep transitioning. My staff keeps moving me into newer things. And no, I didn't used to sit here in my underwear to do the show. Now you can see that I had to put something on at least when you show the dust. But anyway, Michael Josephson, Character Counts. An angry woman once approached me after a speech and told me off for laying a guilt trip on her or anyone else who occasionally sacrifices ethics to keep a job. As a single mother, she said she had to put her kids' welfare before theoretical abstractions like honesty and respect. In the real world, integrity can be most costly and risky. It was a good warning against self-righteousness, but using one's family as an excuse for moral compromise can be a seductive rationalization. Surely, putting family first includes more than financial security. It also involves setting a good moral example and providing children with a solid foundation of values on which they can build meaningful and successful lives. It has never been easy to resist powerful pressures to lie, cheat, or look the other way. It requires not only courage, but foresight to realize it's a lot easier to get a new job than to restore self-respect and rebuild credibility. In the long run, which is the better gift when the going gets tough? To surrender ethics and send the message that your family can't afford integrity, or make the tougher choice that character does matter, and whatever happens, you can make it, and that no job is worth dishonor. Sometimes the dues we pay to maintain our principles are high, but the ultimate cost of moral compromise is much greater. In fact, the more an act of honor costs, the more it's worth. Every act of moral courage contributes to a lasting legacy our children will be proud of all of their lives. Don't give that up for the short-term benefit of security. This is Michael Josephson reminding you, character does indeed count. Now, part 2, now moving ahead, this fell on the ground. Part 2 of upcoming events, and this will all be on our Nutrition Shop website, Facebook, etc., is this. June 25th here in Atlanta, both in the northern suburbs in Alpharetta and right here in Peachtree City. We're going to be doing a seminar June 24th and 25th. That's a Wednesday and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Biohacking gut issues and helping your business. If you know somebody that has a naturally inclined business here in Atlanta, have them get a hold of us, and we'll make sure that they get an invite to this seminar. All right, here's my question, which we're going to answer on Monday. As I said, in 2016, we spent $3.1 trillion. That was a doubling of money that was spent since 1996. So for 20 years, the amount we spent doubled. And now we probably have doubled that again in the last 4 years. Spinning out of control. Payments came from private health insurers, government health insurance, and out-of-pocket payments. 48% of payments came from private, 43% came from the government, out-of-pocket, 9%. That's it. That's all we were accountable for. So what was the number one expense in 2016? What was the number one expense? I'll put it to you this way. I'll give you another clue. What part of the body cost medicine the most money? We'll answer that on Monday. If you guess it, send me an email to Dr. Len, DRLEN, at thenutritionshop.net, or come through our YouTube live channel, or email us at the office, or call the office. I'm going to give a prize on Monday to the first person that tells me the correct answer. What body part contributed the most expense to healthcare in 2016? All right, let's get on to this. You're paranoid about the coronavirus. I'm telling you, you don't have to be. We have the Corona Kit now available for you if you've really been out of shape. The supplements all put together in one. There's something very simple for you. If you want it all in one place, along with the directions, we have it all together for you. Just call us here, 678-228-8900. The peaceful and delicate coexistence of friendly gut bacteria. Clue number one, to protect one's self against the coronavirus. What I just said? The coexistence of friendly gut bacteria and your immune system. Are you taking a good quality, human-strained, American-made probiotic? Are you? Are you taking that? Have you taken that? The peaceful and delicate coexistence of the friendly gut bacteria and the immune system relies on highly coordinated information exchange between immune system cells and certain cells lining the intestine. Until now, scientists generally believed these two cell types were also central to the production of antibacterial molecules that fend off dangerous infections. But scientists at Yale and Harvard medical schools have discovered that in response to viral or bacterial invaders, nerve cells within the intestines, and not immune cells or cells lining the intestinal wall, release infection-fighting cytokines. They report their findings in the January 9th issue of the journal Cell. The findings provide new insight into the body's response to bacterial infections that cause food poisoning and other illnesses. We believe that the immune system cells and the intestinal barrier cells communicated to keep out invading bugs by mobilizing antimicrobial proteins. The story is actually not true. It is the nervous system telling barrier cells what to do. It's your nervous system. The foot soldiers in the war against intestinal pathogens, it turns out, are the immune system molecules. And you don't need to remember this, but just think about this. It's called interleukin 18. As God created our bodies, the lining of our intestines secrete interleukin. These are your soldiers. That if you have enough of these, you're not going to get the coronavirus problem. You're not going to get the flu. You're not going to get sick. But what was it in our human body that coordinated the release of these things? Our nervous system. As I started out saying, if you sit here and obsess about the coronavirus, if you are part of that crowd that's going out buying every single bar of antibacterial soap, and you're scrubbing down your mailbox, stop it. Wash your hands, practice some very simplistic ways to protect yourself. Take a quality American-made human strained. Human strained. Why am I saying that? Because a great percentages of products coming in from China that you're going to find on the shelves of every drugstore, I'm not going to mention them by name, are canine derived. Yes, folks, they came from a dog. I'm not going to go into that right now. But in a few minutes, we'll tell you about a couple of the choices you can have as far as the quality probiotic. When researchers deleted that interleukin 18 from these animals, they could still fend off a few infections, but overall, things like viruses took place in their body. The key role of nerve cells in the defense against pathogens makes sense, given the ability of the nervous system to communicate along long distances. The findings offer an opportunity to explore new ways to intervene in infections by balancing the immune system through your nervous system. Now, heart to heart now, let's talk. Are you taking an antidepressant? Lexapro, Prozac, Paxil? I'm going to tell you, it's probably working well for you. It's probably a good decision. But take this from a pharmacist. Any medication that is working within your nervous system, those are SSRIs, Effexor, SNRIs, all of the different antipsychotics, all the different meds that people are gobbling up, all the ADD meds that our kids may be on, are affecting our immune system. The more we use those, the more that people get ill. And again, I wish I had the research piece that said of those number of people that have died with the coronavirus, how many of them were on an antidepressant? Or let's just say a medication that plays within the nervous system. Now, I'm not here to say today, stop them all. But I'm saying we got to ask the question, why are we needing those to such an extent? You know, I've mentioned many times here at our office that we do what's called neurotransmitter testing. This is a sample of a test kit, specimen collection kit, where we send out information to a patient. I'll show you what the insides look like. Insides look like this. You see in here a urine collection piece, a pipette, and test tubes where we collect saliva samples as well as urine samples. We send this off to a lab with a proper diagnosis. In some cases, we can get insurance compensability for this. And as it says on the inside of this, congratulations. This is your first step on your path to optimal health. If we can identify what your neurotransmitters are doing, we can protect you. So, what's the story? Good gut health, proper forms of probiotics. Now, two sources that I like a lot. First, our Ultra Probiotic. We have this custom made for us in Tennessee. Right on the label. Produced in White House, Tennessee, just north of Nashville. Pretty close to where the tornado hit this week. 30 billion good bacteria, along with the prebiotic in this called inulin. Nutritional support for the intestinal flora. 1 or 2 a day, reasonably priced, quality probiotic, packaged, sealed tightly, airtight, food in there to keep these bacteria alive. Number 2, Probzymes. These are soil-based, these are human-based, soil-based. A lot of the newest research is talking about using soil-based probiotics. This is a chewable form, safe for kids. You want something that's going to start defending your entire family against coronavirus? Chew one of these a day. Also, the digestive enzymes that are in there can help us digest our food. Story number 2. On the same line of the nervous system. Now we're gonna switch gears from the coronavirus to Alzheimer's. What? How do you tie these two things together? Well, let me just say this. As God created our bodies, we have this amazing barrier that stops things from making its way through the system into the brain. It's protection. We don't want heavy metals and some of the things that we might get involved with going to the brain, especially infections. Especially infections. But in the last number of years, we've seen a whole generation that are coming up where either Lyme's, staph infections, strep infections are penetrating through the blood-brain barrier and settling in the brain and causing inflammation. And it may go undetected for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But what we're finding now is some of that which has happened could be causing some early stage dementia, forgetfulness, and may eventually be Alzheimer's. So this article that comes out of the University of Kentucky, and again, I'm going to read this just for the sake that they say antibiotics could be a promising treatment form for dementia. That's a form of antibiotics that aren't used very often. They're called aminoglycosides. For anybody that's ever had an eye infection that used tobramycin, that's an aminoglycoside. Or maybe had a sty, and the doctor gave you gentamicin, maybe in an eye ointment. Gentamicin. It's an aminoglycoside. They're not used that often. A lot of times used topically or in eye drops. Researchers at the University of Kentucky's College of Medicine found that a class of antibiotics called aminoglycosides could be a promising treatment for dementia. Results of their proof of concept study, which was a collaborative effort between Kentucky's Department of Molecular and Cellular Biology, you don't need to know that. Frontal temporal dementia is the second most common form of dementia after Alzheimer's disease, and the most common form of early onset dementia. It typically begins between the ages of 40 and 50. Now let's think back now. These aren't the millennials. These aren't the boomers. It's that middle age group. It affects the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain, leads to behavior changes, difficulty speaking, writing, and memory. A subgroup of patients with frontal temporal dementia have a specific genetic mutation that prevents brain cells from making a protein. You don't need to know any of that. The bottom line were these patients' brain cells have a mutation that prevents progranulin, a protection, from being made. The researchers found two specific aminoglycoside antibiotics, gentamicin forms, that were both effective in fixing the mutation and making functional progranulin protein. What did they do? The bottom line was that these, someplace over the course of time, an infection took place in the body somewhere that caused inflammatory things to be produced, which made their way to the frontal part of the brain. And in the frontal part of the brain, we ended up having plaque formation, and we started to see the breakdown. Not an easy thing to say. Not an easy thing to see. So, what did we learn today? The right form of probiotic could be the number one defense that you can do against the coronavirus or any virus. Number two, we learned that controlling your nervous system. Don't let yourself spin out of control. Don't let yourself become or succumb to the types of issues and the hysteria that's being pushed by the newscast. Did you see the one where MSNBC went into a drugstore to photograph an empty aisle where they used to have all the antibacterial stuff? And somebody snuck up behind them and videotaped them taking everything off the shelf. They're creating hysteria because they took all the products and just dumped it on the floor to make it look empty. Relax. Defend yourself. Defend your family. It's our God-given right to do, and it's our God-given task to do. I want to say thank you to my friends at Chick-fil-A. Notice I've graduated to the large size coffee now. My coffee maker at home broke. I have to get a new one this weekend. It's my task. Let me give you again the numbers to reach us here at the office. If you have questions, comments, anything that's on your mind, you want to talk about it, 678-228-8900. If you want to get really serious about your health, give us a call, set up a private consultation time. We do those via Zoom internet. If you don't want to leave your house, and I understand now in today's world, better to stay home. If you have a computer with a camera or your cell phone, we can hook up like this face to face and chat. Just call and set up your time, 678-228-8900, or reach out to us through the website at thenutritionshop.net, THE, thenutritionshop.net. I'm going to have a relaxing weekend. Daylight savings time, right? Yeah, we have to move the clocks spring forward. Springtime, finally. God bless you, folks. Again, please contact us if you need anything. If you want to talk more about those probiotics or more information on our upcoming health event here in the Atlanta area. God bless you, folks. See you back here soon. Take care.